All right, happy summer, Chad.
Last day of school. Neil, it's good to be here.
It's good to be here, too. We're getting into a fun time of year. We have a fun guest with a fun story today. So let's run the theme, and then we'll get into it.
Let's do it.
Recorded live from Louisville, it's Talk About Town, the Louisville podcast. And now, your hosts, Neil Cox and Chad Hennisley.
Hey, Ron White here. I'm nowhere to be found. You're listening to Talk About Town, like I give a...
All right, so we are here on Friday afternoon with QueenDeborah. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir. You good?
Excellent. And I think this is really cool because we had like a 4-week layoff after I had surgery and things were going all crazy. And then we did an episode about a week ago. We said, we really should get another one before the end of May. And we both had homework to sort through our potential guest list. I hadn't exactly done it. I don't know if you had.
I was starting to prep, but I guess Queen heard our message somehow and reached out to us.
She's
telepathic.
She did. So I get a call, a number, a name that I don't know, and I had to call it back. It was a missed call, and she had put a note on there because I got a little screener on my phone that it's about the show. And she said, would love to be on there. I said, well, your timing is perfect.
Awesome. Love it.
So you're an author.
Yes, sir.
And then let's get into a little bit your Louisville connection first.
Okay.
Louisville for us locals. I do some YouTube stuff that is seen on the country, and I have to remember that not everyone knows what Louisville is.
Louisville.
Right. Or Louisville.
Yes.
Louisville, Louisville,
Yes.
Louisville.
Yeah. So are you from Louisville originally?
Yes, I am from Louisville, born and raised. Been here all my life. I went to school here. My alumni is the University of Louisville, got 2 degrees.
Nice. What high school? We have to ask.
Well, I went to Western Magnet.
Uh-huh.
Excellent.
Graduated top 12 of my class.
Nice.
And just pursued life after that. Like I said, went to University of Louisville.
Go Cards, by the way.
Yes, alumni. And then got 2 degrees, and I raised my 2 beautiful children here. I have 2 kids. They both got full rides to the University of Louisville.
Awesome.
To
fantastic.
the universities. They both went to DuPont Manual High School.
Yeah.
My daughter got a full ride to Northern Kentucky for graphic design, and she graduates this fall.
Oh,
Excellent.
And my
Congrats.
son, thank you, he got a full ride to the University of Louisville School of Music.
Oh, awesome. What's he play?
Percussion.
Nice.
Little everything. I mean, so he does all type of gigs. He plays timpani, marimba, the whole drum kits and all that great stuff. So
Does he do marching band as well?
yes,
Nice.
Yes, he's not at the marching band at the university right now, but he did it at DuPont Manual, and they both graduated top honors in their class and honor roll students. So
That's awesome.
Good job, Mom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
Thank
And
you.
Manual is a great school, of course. So
Yes, anyone who's went to Manual, I feel like they have no excuse but to be great. And if they choose not to be great, it's their choice. But it's worked out superb and awesome for my young adults, so I'm loving their journey
it's great,
right now.
Queen.
I kind of think that's true no matter where you went to school, really.
Yes,
I think, there is so much opportunity out there.
yes, sir.
And, use your brain. It's not always given, but it's out there.
It's like the old saying, really no matter where you are, what group you're in, what high school, maybe college, organization, whatever, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Very few people just roll through, very few people are super successful
Right.
by not having to work for it.
That's true.
And I think that's hitting the nail on the head, because even going to Western Magnet, a lot of times you don't hear a lot of great things, but it's all in the greatness on you and what you choose to be great at and how you apply yourself. So I'm grateful. My mom taught me. I'm a child of 15, 11 brothers and 4 sisters.
Where do you fall?
I'm the 11th, and how I applicate it is we're in tiers of 5 sets of 3.
Okay.
And I'm the oldest of the bottom tier. And my mom raised us as a single parent, and 10 of us out of 15 either have our associates, bachelor's, master's, and a PhD
Oh, wow.
or a trade.
That is awesome.
Yes, thanks. So kudos to my mom. She just raised us to love God and get our education, and that's what majority of us did and applied ourselves to do so. So
I love that.
yeah, yeah.
I think that with some good direction and a little ingenuity, success can be had.
Yes, sir.
You know, my wife went to a school that most people don't think of as a great school, but she was a valedictorian and has done really well.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
So tell us about this book, because this is what we want to get out there.
Yes, this book is for the world. This book is for now. I wrote this book last year, and I'm calling it 2021. 202WON.
Love it.
Because
Nice.
in 2021, in spite of the pandemic, I believe by the grace and mercies of God, I still won. This book, I wrote it in 2 days. And on March 16th, I believe the Spirit of God woke me up and said, your book didn't have to be long to be strong. So I started my book on March 17th, and I completed my book on March 19th, sent it to my publishers. In 8 days, it was approved, and then 8 months, it was published.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, I stayed up all night, and I was just gung-ho. The main premise of this book is turning to my turning point. It is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Turning from self-will, turning to God's will to get the ultimate turning point. And it's based on the scripture of 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then God said, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins and heal the land. Our land, our country, our world needs healing. And I believe this book is now for healing for those who are willing to listen and to apply it.
I agree with that 100%.
Absolutely. Queen, is this your first book, or have you written before, or did
It's funny you say that because I've been journaling now for over 22 years. My daughter will be 23 this year, so it'll be over 23 years when she hit 23. And I never thought about writing a book. But in 2009, this librarian was getting ready to retire. And she said, this is a journal. And I'm like, why you give me a journal? I never told her that I was writing. At that moment, I had been journaling for like 10 years. And she was like, this is for when you write your books. I was like, my books? I never thought of writing a book. She said, well, that's why you journal, so that you can tell a story and you can put it in a book. So I never thought about it after that. I just continued to journal. And at this point in time in my life, it was a critical time because a lot of people during this pandemic were in relationships. Mm-hmm. And in these relationships, you either found out you will either make it or you're going to break it.
Absolutely.
And this relationship, in life, I'm still young. And I asked God, why did I write a book about this relationship? And he said there was one step between me and death. And so a lot of times in our relationships, if they're not making you, they're breaking you, and they're taking life out of you. They're sucking the life out of you, and you only really exist, and it's almost like you're the walking dead, So with this book, the idea of this book is the turning points. We all have them, but there's always that one ultimate, that fork in the road where you have to make a decision. And in that decision in life will either make you or break you. And I'm so grateful to sit here to say this decision made me to walk away from this toxic relationship that was ultimately unhealthy, and it was killing me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Mm-hmm. And God just gave me the courage and grace to walk away from it.
Well, congratulations. And then also how lucky that you were willing to listen. I would have to think that it's got to be so hard to look in the mirror and realize this is not, I need to stop, or I need to move on, or I need to make this turning point. But I think all of us, I'm a religious person as well, and I do believe God talks to us, but so many of us refuse to listen.
Yes, sir. And I'm telling you, I've been raised in church all my life. I've been in ministry over 30 years now, and to be at that point, and I can sense the ultimate turning point, because it changed my whole view of God. And that's why, like, even this book, it brings the question, is God enough? You know, some people may even say, is God real? You know, am I enough? Is this person I'm with enough, or is this person even worth it? And that's what this book is about, where you have those questions. And I believe in this book, God has given me answers for people that are truly hungry and thirsty and asking these questions, because it brought me to my ultimate turning point, and it's branching to so many other greater and bigger things. Even being here with you also, I'm grateful to be here today.
That's great.
I can relate to a lot of kind of your themes. I did not grow up in the church at all, but I ended up, when I was 23, having a turning point myself where I quit drinking at 23.
Awesome.
And through a program, and, you know, it is kind of about letting go of self-will. Same kind of thing.
Yes.
And I had what I term a starter marriage. It's been a while now.
Okay.
And I'm not going to like say bad things about the person, but I was unhappy.
Yeah.
And it was not an easy decision to make.
Yes.
But I said, okay, you know, this has got to change. And life today is unimaginably great.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at in my life. I even had again, with this book, men are my number one buyers. So I want to put it out there. This is not a male bashing book. This is so virtually going in north, south, east, west. This will bless every culture, every race. Men have told me, Queen, your book has brought so much light to me. I was in a challenging moment. I was in a dark place. Your book made me think, you know? So in life, you need things that's going to cultivate you, that's going to send that shockwave, illuminate you, you know? So this book will illuminate you, make you think, okay, am I this type of person, or do I need a change? Or, you know, am I the one that's been the abuser? Or, you know, change your patterns, your way of thinking, and how you view things. And like you said, you know, turning points are awesome. And that's one thing I put in this book. So many epiphanies God has given me. And one especially was that what may seem to be the worst of times is truly still the best of times.
Yep.
Because like, even though in this turning point in my life, when we're walking away from relationships, when you give so much time, sometimes it hurts, you know, and you think of, oh, wasted time. But really, it brought about the flourishing, what needed to be seen and visible. One of the texts in here that I put in here, God gave me, was connecting the dots. You know, growing up, we did that little book, and we were connected dots, and we'll see a rose or a clown or a face. So as God was bringing me out of this situation, as I connected the dots of the picture, everything that God showed me and told me of what it was, it showed me that picture. And sometimes you have to walk away to see the invisible and what was there all the time. So I'm so grateful for this book. It has blessed my life. It will bless the millions. It will bless the world. And I'm going about to make sure, with God's help, that it happens.
That's awesome.
We're happy to help get the message out there. And I love what you said too. You know, even like the steps that we took yesterday get you to the point where you are today.
Yes.
Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're heavy, but good, bad, or indifferent, you can't erase the past, but we're here for a reason today. And, you know, that makes sense.
Yes, sir. And especially learn from it. You know, it's nothing like an experience without learning. You know, and my former pastor, before he died during COVID. His question was, Dr. Michael E. Ford Sr. used to say, but did you learn anything? You know, when you come out these turning points, what did you learn from it? Because even the definition of insanity is that if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results. What are you doing to change?
Yep.
What mindset are you doing? What behavior? What people? You know, so for people that want to lose weight, what foods? You know, I mean, to be more courageous, you know, are you taking like different classes to help motivate you? You know, what are you doing to bring about that change in your life that's needed?
I actually, it's so funny, you know, things come when you're ready.
Yes.
I've got kind of a strained thing going on right now with my oldest.
Okay.
He's 17, and I'll spare everyone the details, but we spoke Monday, And I kind of saw things from a whole different perspective for the first time. And it wasn't the first time that perspective had been presented to me, but it was the first time I heard it the right way.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make a huge difference. And I'm kind of excited about that. And, it's like, okay, well, if I take myself out of my stubbornness and needing to be right and look at it from a different perspective, I think there may be some healing to be had there.
Awesome. That's beautiful, because it's funny you say that, because my daughter should be 23, and we have to sometimes put ourselves in their shoes.
Yep.
And it's funny you say that, because I've been praying, 'cause like now that they're older, they have their way of thinking and the way of doing things, the way they process, and they're them. We can't, even though they may look like us, they are, replications some way, but they are their own individual persons. And I believe God, I've been praying, because I want to push them in the right direction. We want to bring out greatness in them. We don't want to, as a parents, we have power again to either make or break our kids. And how you make them is by speaking life into them. And with that very example, I really believe God gave me what to say to my daughter and talking with her as she gets older, because I want them always come to me. I don't want, we don't ever want to push them away as they get older, because in the world they have enough challenges and situations, but they have to know with us there's refuge, there's safety. So that's awesome. I pray great blessings with that.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. It's been an ongoing thing that hopefully we'll get some resolution soon and be able to move on. He's 17. He's got 1 year of high school left, and then who knows, who knows where he goes, what he does. So
my son actually just graduated this past weekend, and he's 18, and I don't think you're ever done with your children. No. But at the same time, it is hard for a parent, at least my wife and I are both kind of struggling. You just have to let them go, and you hope that you've instilled good values and that they'll make good decisions. But at the same time, you have to also let them know that it is okay to fail and to make mistakes. But just how do you learn from it, like you said?
You learn something, yes. And that's another again, my pastor and his wife died the same year. Oh. But he left us so many gold nuggets. And again, I love what you just said, Chad. He used to say, you got to know when to let go. Because if you try to keep holding on, and just let them grow, like you said, and believing that you gave them the core values of integrity, of honesty, and not only giving them that they seen us through it, and that's why I told my kids, I'm like, you all seen mommy through struggles, because out in my marriage, I went through emotional abuse with my kid's father. I went to, he tried to be physical, and I went through spiritual abuse. So they seen me as some of my lowest that no one else would see. But now I thank God that I believe they're going to see me now in the glory of God, and seeing how God turned your life around in those turning points when you turn to him. So that's all I believe in this time, in this season, in the world, in the nation, in the country. We used to say all the time, in God we trust, but we're moved away from that. And all the catastrophes and everything that's going on in this world is showing that we don't trust God. We walked away from God, and it's impacting everything.
Yep, I agree.
I had, and I did, this elementary school shooting that happened recently, which is just tragic. I can't imagine. And, you read everybody's take. Everybody's got a take. Yeah. And so many people go to, mental health. And to me, mental health is depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, not hurting people. To me, it's a spiritual health. I really truly believe that. And, I don't think everyone needs to necessarily worship the same way or even believe the same thing. But if you've got no hope and you don't regard people as valuable, and parents didn't pour into you, that hole is not filled.
That's good. That is real good. You hit a nail on the head. That's awesome. Yeah, because I feel like now, and to be authentically transparent, a lot of people are not, it's not mental.
Yeah.
People are demonically possessed. And because you said that emptiness, there's a voidiness that only God can fill. And we try to fill it with relationships. We try to fill it with food. We try to fill it with people. But until
possessions.
Yes.
Yep.
Wealth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some of the richest people are those who commit suicide.
That's right.
Some of those who are the most well off, because money cannot satisfy. Money only goes so far. You know, if I can choose God or money, you know, the Bible says love of money is the root of all evil. It don't say that money's evil,
Right.
but the love of it,
Yeah.
you know? So, because money can't satisfy you. Money can't make you happy. Money can't take away sorrow.
Right.
Money can't take away darkness. You know, a lot of people try to hoard their money or, you know, try to hide it and lie about it and, you know, run for the IRS with money. But at the end of the day, the truth and light will always be shown on darkness. You know? It has to come.
And money can't buy you health either.
No.
Yeah.
No, if you do not have health, I mean, you know,
What
money
good is money?
Yeah. You know, I had that knee surgery a few weeks ago, and it was getting to be where just getting around was hard. And if I had a big fat bank account, I still wouldn't be getting
Me
around.
would still bother
Yeah.
you. Yeah. You know, you made a comment talking about the Uvalde shootings, and not to kind of spin this a different way, but I also believe that all of us have a responsibility to be godlike to a degree. Even in small gestures can just go enormous ways. And by no means is this creating any kind of sympathy for the shooter, but you wonder, could somebody have reached out? Could we as just a community or as just a country or world for that matter, just try to be aware of pain in other people, or at least see I always just tell my kids, and I tell them all the time, I said, you know, you don't have to be everybody's best friend. That's impossible. But be kind and nice to everyone. And I'm telling you, the return, it's going to come back to you. With what I do for a living, that's not why, but it's really always paid off. And I take pride when people say, hey, Chad's a really nice guy. Well, I mean, that's awesome. There's really no bigger compliment than, and it's a genuine, at least I believe I'm trying to be genuine, to learn about you, Queen, and your situation. But in all individuals out there, I mean, you're not going to always get to know, because everybody hides what's going on in their life and stuff like that. But if we can spot and see, not evil, but if there's any way to spot pain in people, you know, try to just go out. Sometimes just a how are you doing, and a genuine listen and ask goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to, you know, like middle school, and how easy it is for people to like gang up on somebody. And it's, you know, it's so hard. And I look back and like kind of regret that kind of stuff. And I look to be genuine now with everyone. And it has served me well also, you know, and in work too. Are there things that I've missed out on sometimes because I'm transparent, authentic? Sure. But in the end, it ends up being better.
Yeah, and just real quick, the thought that while listening to you all, for a while now, I really pray for Hollywood a lot. Because again, some of the richest people are the most miserable, because money cannot buy happiness.
Yep.
And just think of the Will Smith slap heard across the world, you know, on his greatest night, you know, and that turning point. What are you going to do now after this moment? You know, like you said, our decisions we make in that moment, I mean, especially if you don't just take a second to pause and think about, okay, what is this going to cost me? Right. You know, what detriment can it bring to somebody else? And then, like you say, even with the shootings and killings, a lot of these people, some are born with hate, some are taught hate. And then because of people being bullied and not really being able to articulate and say, okay, this is what I'm going through, I'm hurting, I'm lonely, you know, not having that voice to really just speak up for themselves. And then they internalize all that, and then it just flusters until, you know, you go do something that's so ludicrous and so off the wall and so tragic for somebody else because of the pain you're going through. So, you know, again, turning points are awesome, but again, at that fork in the road, what do you decide and what the choices you make? You know, a quote is, you're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of that choice.
Absolutely.
That's
You know.
very powerful.
Yeah, so I love quotes. I have several epiphanies. I'm working on my third book. It's a book of affirmations. But, you know, again, with this book, the general plot with this book is my own personal bio. This relationship I was in Genesis 2:21 talks about God putting Adam to sleep to make Eve. In this book, you will read how God put me to sleep and spoke through my body to this person. I have no conscience of it to this day.
Wow.
This is how, if I ever knew that God is very protective of me, I know this without a doubt, and I stand flat-footed to know that he is highly protective and invested so much in me that he will secure it with everything that is in him. You know, it's mind-blowing. You know, the guy was like, do you not know what happened? I said, no. And he was like, it scared me. But it was just God speaking through me, letting him know, you know, she belongs to me. And in this place that she's in, she will not stay here. You know, so again, turning points. And then I'm thinking about the synopsis of this book, the elements, the plot of the book, the rise in action, the main problem, the conflict in this book was being outside of the will of God for my life. God sending several warnings to me. In life, we get several warnings. You know, we get that spidey sense, you know. We get that our hair standing up on the back of our necks. We know, we have a conscience to know when something's not right, when a relationship's not right, when someone's not being treated right. It takes courage. It takes boldness. It takes a willingness to say, okay, what must I do at this moment? You know, again, God putting me to sleep. God did everything but sit or stand in front of me to get my attention. And literally this book tells everything that God did, connecting the dots, painting that picture like this is what I need you to do. The climax of the story, finding out information that I wasn't privy to because I'm not God, I'm not all-seeing. Eventually, as I humbled myself before God to listen to what God was saying, he was able to paint that picture for me and show me this is what's going on that you don't see. This is what's going on in the dark. And when those things come to light, it's mind-blowing. Like, oh, my God, you know, this was really going on. Now it makes sense why I sensed this or why I smelled that, you know, or why I seen this or why this person was here. And, you know, it's crazy how everything just makes sense when you just step back and like, wow, that wow factor. So that's another word in my book is a wow factor. This picture became crystal clear. And one of the main resolutions for me was getting out of this relationship. Luke 1:58 in the Bible, the book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 58 says that God had great mercy upon her. And I tell people every day, everywhere I go, all the vendor opportunities that I get, speaking engagements, I'm her. I am that woman. I am her that God had great mercy on. You know, because some people, they don't make it out of their turning point. You know, when they have that moment to get out of it, they either go back to it or some people die. You know, think about a lot of the people that die in domestic violence situations. You know, and like now I've seen where a lot of women are more the perpetrators than men because they know, okay, if I cry wolf or if I go lie, you know, people going to listen to me. And then they'll look at the man, he's all big and brute and I'm all small, but they are the aggressor. They're the ones that's violent. You know, so the tables have really turned and some people just know how to manipulate, whether it's a man or a woman.
It's very interesting. You talked about like the spider tingle or something like that, or that conscious. You're right. I mean, it could go for either sex, male or female. If you're in a bad spot, I mean, this is domestic. It could go, you're in a bad job or you're in the wrong. I think all of us, you do get that feeling, and I guess you have that calling or that opportunity to react or take advantage of the turning point. Many don't.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any speaking engagements coming up?
I do. Actually, I have my first outing this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Good luck.
I've had this book has done phenomenal in less than 5 months. I mean, I'm in my thousands.
That's great.
And the support, again, I'm starting a women's book club next Friday, June 3rd. Again, my number one buyers for my book are men. Shout out to all the men out there. I'm telling you, this book is for you. I'm starting a men's book club June 17th. And I have a lot of men, Queen, we're in. You know, I have them texting me all the time. You know, I have a positive word for every day. Monday is Marvelous Monday, Triumphant Tuesday, Wonderful Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, Fabulous Friday, Successful Saturday, and Super Sunday, or for church people, Supernatural Sunday. And a guy texted me today. He was like, what's the word of the day today? You know? So, again, even though there's the worst of times in the world, God would not be outdone. He still will get the glory out of everything, you know. There's still great things happening. You know, we cannot overshadow or downplay what's going on. You know, I pray for the grieving. I pray for the lost. I pray for the homeless, you know. But because of the sins of man, all the way back from Adam and Eve, things are going to happen. And we cannot act oblivious like they're not supposed to happen, like we are in a fairy tale. You know, but life happens.
Yep. Well, if someone wanted to join the book club, can they still sign up, and how would they find it?
They can. I can leave you my email.
Yep.
I can put my email
We'll
here.
put that
We'll
on the tab.
post it. We'll make it easy for people to get in touch with you.
Awesome.
And to
Yep.
be able to find your stuff. Do you have a website as well?
I do. I have a website. I create my own Wix website. And then I also, again, like this book is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I'm releasing the second book this fall.
Oh,
Excellent.
nice.
That's great.
That one's entitled My Pain, that relationship. It birthed my purpose and my passion. I snapped out of it. And I said, with all the pandemic, everything going on, and people want to be out and about now, it's time to snap out of some stuff. You know, again, if you do what you always done, you're going to get what you always got. So it's time to snap out of some stuff and change it. So that's coming fall this year.
Nice.
I just got my LLC for my group called Loving the Uniquely You. Usually before the pandemic, we would go out and serve in the community, serve at the shelter, serve lunch, and, you know, I would do empowerment, speaking engagements. I have so much lined up right now. You know, one thing God has taught me, and my father has always reiterate, sometimes you got to move in silence. I just love for actions to speak louder than words. So today, being here with you all is part of that great action. So,
Love it.
Again, I thank you.
What is your website?
It is QueenDeborah. Let me give you my Gmail. QueenDeborah62@gmail.com. And then I can give you the Wix site, because forgive me, I just created it for my book. But a lot of my speaking engagements is more people just contacting me. And the Wix site is just more just following me and just looking at the pictures of all the book signings and things that I've done of that nature.
People enjoy the glimpse kind of behind the scenes, I think.
Yes.
I like that.
Well, and two, I think when with the word of the book getting out, I could see people reaching out to you possibly for speaking engagements for different groups of all kind. You definitely have a very energetic personality, and it's been great to meet you. And Neil and I are both proud to play a small part in trying to promote your book and get your word out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you are both the bomb, and I believe this is only the beginning.
Well, we very much appreciate that. Glad you reached out to us too, and glad we were able to do this so quickly.
Thank you so much. This has been
Thanks,
awesome.
Queen.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening. You can reach us at neil@talkabouttown.com. Neil is a realtor with Judah Real Estate Group. Chad is a partner at Insura Max. You can reach him at chadh@insuramax.com. Check us out on the web at talkabouttownky.com. Go Cards!